welcome to Bart's London School of Medicine and Dentistry, Whitechapel campus. I am Mario Perretti, I'm a pharmacologist, and I'm the Dean for Research here within the school. I'm really impressed to see so many of you here tonight, and also for the active participation you had during these 2 hours with us. I trust you have enjoyed the visit of the laboratories, and you have had a sense of the research we do here at Bart's in London. In fact, that's very important to me, the quality of the research that we produce, and we can do this obviously with the support of many funders, of which Brain Tumour Research, and I just seen INSU names as well, are very important. And so eventually our work is going to make an impact onto the patient. So this is why we come here every day, and this is why we are grateful for the support.
There's a huge amount of momentum with what we're doing. There's a huge amount of collaboration, which we welcome you to as part of, but it's always and always will be about the people. And so to talk a bit about INSU's name, I'd like to ask its founder, David Taylor, to say a few words.
Now you can all see how much this means to me. You can see the families that have suffered, as you've suffered. We're not alone. That's the point of INSU's name, is to bring those families together so that they can share, not just in our grief, but in a way of overcoming our grief by getting involved in charity. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to persuade people to become part of our organisation so that we can raise the money that's so much desperately needed to solve this problem. Every day I get a contact from somebody who has lost somebody, 3 years old, 5 years old, 35 years old. 2 weeks ago, a young Greek girl died. She was diagnosed one day and was dead in her bed the next day, 31 years old. And that was in Enfield. So this is happening all the time. We've got to make a difference. But where I need your help is I need you to spread the word. I need you to explain to people what we need to do for brain tumour research. We need to raise funds, a lot of money. This means we need people who can get involved in fundraising, people who can talk to people who can give us grants. There are so many different ways, as you'll see from our new website, which we launched yesterday, www.insusname.org. You'll see all the different ways you can help. You will make a difference by the way you react to today. I hope today you can see that what they're doing here is a long-term project, but unless we act now, we can't make a difference. And there'll be more young children that suffer, like Sasha and Daniel did. There'll be more people who never get to see their children, and there'll be children who never see their parents. That should never happen. It won't happen now. It won't happen next week. It might not be 10 or 15 years. But if we don't do something now, we're losing something. We're losing the impetus. Our Sue did 5 Race for Lives, and she did a skydive because she was passionate about cancer research. So let us keep her legacy going. Let us turn what she wanted to do with her life and make it happen in her name. In Sue's name is what this charity is all about. Thank you very much.
I said I'm not an expert, but maybe I am. I'm an expert on daughters. I've got one. She's the light of my life, and I can't imagine how I'd cope if I lost her. You've got the hard job carrying on without me. That's what Sue said to her dad. And it was those words, and also hearing what David Taylor had to say about the daughter he'd tragically lost, that really struck a nerve in me and made me want to help in some small way with the charity he was setting up. See, as far as dads are concerned, daughters never grow up. I look at my daughter, I don't see a grown woman, I see a little girl with braces on her teeth and ankle socks and pigtails. The relationship between a father and daughter is unbelievably special. It's unlike other relationships, and unlike other relationships, it doesn't sort of develop and grow. It starts from the moment you first see her. Girls love their dads, and I know that the love David and Sue have for one another is as strong now as it always was. Death can't alter love. Last quote from David himself. I enjoyed a close bond with Sue because of our shared love of God, and I see it as a blessing that I got to have 42 years with my lovely girl, and I still have her lovely children. Now, that's another thing that David Taylor and I have in common, our Roman Catholic faith. I personally don't know how people without a spiritual aspect to their lives cope in times of loss. And I'm sure that David's Christian faith and his belief in the truth of the resurrection have not only enabled him to carry on, but also to undertake this most positive step to create a charity, not just to remember Sue, but also to fund research into brain tumour in the hope that other families, mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, will not have to endure what the Taylor family have endured. What I'd like to tell you, obviously there are many, many charities asking for money these days, all over the place, aren't they? You get letters through the doors every day. And many of them have far more resources at their disposal. But I ask you to spread the word, as David said, spread the word. Help to make in Sue's name a name people immediately recognise. Help David and those who benefit from his charity's financial support to find a cure for this cruel disease and to find it in Sue's name. Thank you.
So thank you very much, David, from In Sue's name, and everybody from the charity, and thank you to Hugh, Sue, and everybody for Brain Tumour Research for organising this truly inspirational event. It's always so nice for us scientists and we get so much motivation by getting together with fundraiser supporters, patients, and relatives. And we need to make a difference because there is very little that we can do nowadays for patients with glioblastoma and for high-grade gliomas in general. And this is really depressing from a clinical perspective because this is against all the trends of the vast majority of survival trends in other cancer. This is unfortunately still not the case for glioblastoma, and this is what motivates us really to try to engage with this disease and try to figure it out how we can do better. And what angle? I mean, here we need a paradigm shift. What we are doing with these patients is clearly not helpful, so we need a new angle. And we are now entering this discovery phase. The center has been running since 2 years, and we are now entering the most exciting part because this is the moment where we can make discoveries. And after thorough validation, that will be essential, we need to be absolutely confident of what we see, we will go all the way through to identify druggable targets. It may just be a matter of also seeing how existing drugs could be repurposed, as we say, so used to better target specific subgroups of patients may profit from that. It can be a target that can be, for example, used in immunomodulatory type of treatment. So it has been a very interesting journey. We've met so many people and really inspiring people in many lab tours. We had very interesting conversations in scientific meetings with colleagues, and we I think everybody in my lab now is very proficient at baking, and in fact we have done everybody in the Blizard is eagerly awaiting Wear Hat Day, because this is a day where, in support of a charity, we organized a cake bake, and that has been also a very interesting experience for us. And thank you very much to you all to be here tonight.
Thank you, Hugh, and good evening. At Brain Tumour Research, we welcome In Sue's name to the Brain Tumour Research family. Our member charities, many like this one, set up in memory of a loved one, work with each other and collaboratively with us, united with one voice on behalf of those impacted by this dreadful disease, so that we can be more than the sum of our parts. That's also the way that we think about the research we fund at the charity: collaboration, funding centres of excellence, achieving momentum, creating critical and clinical mass. Brain tumours are indiscriminate. They can affect anybody, but they are the biggest cancer killer of children and adults under the age of 40. And yet they have received historically only 1% of the national government spend on cancer research. And it's because we find that unacceptable that we are building a network of sustainable research into brain tumours, including the incredible work that you've heard about from Silvia here into glioblastoma multiforme. Imagine what the £1 million target that David has set will fund. the brightest minds in the UK research field, career pathways for young researchers. Maybe one of the people employed at this centre with the money that you raise will make that breakthrough. Even those of us who didn't know Sue personally can see from her story that she epitomises the spirit of a fundraiser. And through the fundraising, we work in partnership with our member charities, with our umbrella groups, with our supporter groups. And we also work in partnership with them on campaigning. And campaigning is a very important part of what we do. And it goes hand in hand with research because, of course, what we're campaigning for is that the government and the larger cancer charities must also increase their spend on funding brain tumours. It's not all going to come from us. We want to be part of a bigger picture. So it's a real pleasure and honour to have been able to talk to you today. I'd like to thank David and all the other families for the incredible work that you're doing. It's inspiring all of us at the charity, and I hope you've enjoyed your day here today. Thank you very much.
So, yes, thank you, Robin. To echo that, our thanks are very much due to, in Sue's name, to everyone at QMOL. I think when I think back on it, everyone should be fed and watered, and we're 10 minutes over time. But when you go back and you're getting your train from Euston or King's Cross or Marylebone or whatever, I suggest, or I hope, you can pick up a copy of the Standard. And in the Standard today on page 24, there's this story about the launch of In Sue's Name. And I suggest that you take it home and keep it and say that you were there at the start of this memorable relationship.